Is where I left you on Friday to go over and get my rear handed to me by the kids.
Oh, yeah, how was the game?
We lost 8-7.
Yeah, 8-7.
Yes. No.
It was 8-1, but then...
It was 8-1 at one. No, it never got more than 5-1. It was 5-0, then 5-1, then 5-2, then 6-2, then 7-3, then 7-4, then 8-4, then it ended 8-7.
Maybe if you were the goalie there.
No, Mr. Kleisinger is an infinitely better goalie than me. Infinitely. I had 2 assists and I was the screen that allowed our second goal to go in. And our first goal, 2 of us swung at it. Mr. Close's stick hit the puck. Mine missed. And I missed an open net because I'm used to playing with bad hockey players. I was in front of the net. So a pass was coming out, going towards my backhand, because I'm right-handed. But usually I'm used to people who pass very, very slowly, so I was turning around to get it onto my forehand to shoot it in. But it was Mr. Sagert making the pass, and Mr. Sagert makes passes just a little bit slower than the speed of light. So in the time it took me to try and get to go from here to here, the pass was already gone. Had I left my backhand down, it would have hit my stick and gone in. But it's all right because when I missed, the puck went past where Mr. Sagert was skating, got his own puck. I saw him get the puck and circle around. I was like, I'm just going to stand here in front of the goalie then, and screened him, and we got another goal that way.
I was talking to some of the guys, and they were like, Mr. Sagert was like
Mr.
insane.
Sagert is
Pretty good.
very good. Both Mr. Sagert's brothers,
He was about to get, drafted.
both Mr. Sagert's brothers have played professional hockey. Not in the NHL, not in the NHL, but they have been paid to play. And Mr. All right, so we are going to go through this very quickly. Please only stop me if you have a question. All right, go. C. Two, y intercept -1, C. Q minus y minus x, B. -3, -1/4, B. Give yourself a mark out of 4. D. That's a pain. Great, go.
No, I'm Schumann.
You want to do it?
Yes, thank you. Mr. Myers, classroom student speaking.
May I help you?
Of course. Do you have staples in your room?
I do indeed.
He does indeed.
A.
All right, no problem. Miss Ballback is coming to get staples.
Wonderful. 7. D. 8. B. So let me check. Y plus 1. No. A. Y plus 1 equals 1/3 x minus 1 plus 1. No, I was right the first time. B.
Isn't it A? Because shouldn't the y intercept be 0?
It's B.
No, it's B. Because when the 2 comes over there, it becomes negative. So y equals 1/3 x minus 2. Right there. Yes, Lauren.
So when you're making it perpendicular, then the B would also get there.
Of course the B changes.
Okay. But is it always just sign switched or different?
It depends.
Depends.
The slope changes.
How'd you-
Yes, Leighton.
Stay number 6. Oh, come on.
That's point slope form right there, right?
Yeah.
Well, you just solve it. Move it around until it's in slope-intercept form.
Wait, how do you, number, like, 8, but just in general, how do you, for perpendicular, how do you find a new C? Like, I found it on this one, just
Well,
by-
once all, it still has to go. What is the equation of the line that is perpendicular to this line? So you change the slope, and it has to go through there. So you put it in point slope form,
Okay.
and then you rearrange to get slope intercept. 9 is D. 10 is, I believe it is A. No, it is C.
Yeah.
11 is C. 12 is y-intercept equals 1, x-intercept equals 1, and you graph it that way for 3 marks. Everybody okay?
Yep.
Move these around. 2y equals negative 3x plus 4, y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 2. There's the first one for 1 mark. X minus 8 equals 4y, 1/4 x minus 2 equals y. There's the other one for 1 mark.
It is? Okay.
Everybody good there?
Yes.
Sweet.
So.
What is represented by all these things? A, the slope is 3, 1, 2, 3 over 2, 3 over 2, and the D-intercept equals 2. What do they represent? 3 over 2 is her speed, and the D-intercept is her starting point.
Could you scroll to 2A and B just for like a second?
Yep.
Okay, that's all.
B, what is the equation? It is D equals 3 over 2t plus 2. And C is, you could have done it 2 ways. You could have gone up to 6 and down, but that wouldn't have been very exact. I would still give you a mark. Or you would, of course, do 6 equals 3 over 2t plus 2 and solve that, which is 2 and 2/3. 1, 1, 1, making that out of 3. Everybody okay? I like business-like days. Oh, but the computer froze. It doesn't like business-like days. And finally, this is a very tough question until you think for a second that there's 2 things being counted, yes? And if there's 2 things being counted, they must be able to be used as x and y. Yep. One of them's independent. That's x. Time is always independent. So x equals years,
I'll answer it again. Actually, no.
y equals girls.
When you have time, can you please go to Volvax's room because she's broke the staples. Oh, the photo.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Thank you.
And your slope is, of course, 4,162, because that's how many girls are added to the list every year, right? Yep. As the year goes up 1, 4,160 more girls play. So you have y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. These are your known points. Y minus, what's the first point that you know?
2000.
In the year 2000, there were 45,400 girls playing. Slope, 4,162. Now what's the next number you know?
The year. 2000.
Right? Playing organized hockey as a function of time after 1990. Well, 1990 is when we started, right? We're talking about the year 2000.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how many years did we add?
That's
10. Everybody understand?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's 10 steps along, right? On your graph. Everybody cool?
Yeah.
So that is A. That gets you 2 marks. And B, you just sub in, right? So use that equation to estimate the girls playing organized ice hockey in January 2009. So what goes in for X? What goes in for X?
No, it would be the other one.
It's the 9th year of our graph.
So it would be the
So
19. No.
9.
9, yeah.
Y minus 45,400 equals 4,162 times 9. Then you just do the math. And I can't remember the answer. It's like 83,000 something. 82,858 or something? Okay. Add it up. I gotta go save Ballback's day.
May I please get water while you're gone? Yeah, I'm ready.
Did it work? Great. It works because if you keep... Well, fine, I won't bother. Yeah, because you're 2,000 minus 2009.
High five.
You got A wrong, right? You got A wrong. I looked at yours. You got A wrong.
Okay, well, they got the same. I'm not a
But no, for A though. Stop cheating yourself.
No,
Stop cheating yourself. Layton. I looked at yours. I looked at okay. You put y minus 45. If there's is 4162, x subtract 2000. X minus 10. What is that? 1990 off. 1,090 off.
What are we doing on Friday in this class? That's so cute. That actually looks kind They don't.
My dad's cousin.
Can you show me one?
All right, what's this out of?
Wait, Mr. Myers.
21 or something? What?
Okay, so I got the right value. But I said for A, y minus 45,100 is 4162, x subtract 2,000.
Sure, it still works.
And then okay.
2009 minus 2000 is still 9.
Yeah.
What?
Sweet.
Matt, it's
3,000
funny
and
how
9 minus 3,000. Is it 9 too?
All right, everybody good? What's it out of? I don't know. 21 something? 23? Great. Give yourself a mark out of 23 and I'll get it later because we need to be businesslike. When is your test?
I don't know.
Tomorrow, possibly.
When would be better?
Not tomorrow.
Wednesday, so you have a day to go over your 2 reviews.
But,
I know Wednesday is
bio.
Buyout day. Oh no. So when is our test?
Still Wednesday.
You should do it on Wednesday. Screw everyone.
Thursday's a short day. You guys can't do 7 plus 3.
Tomorrow.
Mr. Myers.
So it's tomorrow.
Pretty much has to be.
Would I be able to test at a different time?
I don't care. Yes.
You're allowed to tell us that we're not allowed to go. None of MJ's classes allowed to go.
Huh?
None of MJ's classes allowed to go.
That's stupid.
But it's not gonna be like.
I don't, because I don't care. I'm going to be doing a class that day. The class can be videoed. You, if you are responsible and give a rat's ass, will watch the video. I cannot give a test. Right? It's the 21st century. It's easy to put a class out where you can see it if you are not here. And then if you choose not to do anything about it, it is no one's fault but yours, and you will be punished accordingly by not knowing what is going on.
See, if you were in Mr. Myers' class last year, you don't understand. That's what we never talked about. Or, I mean, no, sorry, ask questions like that.
All right. We are now on this page, which is the next page in your book entitled Writing Linear Functions, or Writing Equation of Linear Functions. You can see that I was expecting back in the day to be doing this around Christmas time, so I had Christmas light font. You don't have that font in your book because I have yet to actually be able to get to this by Christmas in the few years I have had pre-dip 10. So, 4 forms of writing a function. 1, ax plus by plus c equals 0. General form, yes, sir. A is greater than 0. No fractions. 2, y equals mx plus b. M equals slope. B equals y int, which is also 0 comma y. 3, y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. x1, y1 are known point. What's the things you have to remember though? On the graph, it's opposite sign. Why is it opposite sign? Why is it opposite sign? Because if I did the same sign, it wouldn't work. They would not be equal. And number 4 is stupid standard form, which I don't even like to talk about. Because it's the exact same as general, except it's ax plus by equals c, and it's dumb. Okay? If you know those 4, which do you have to memorize? No, you just have to know how to use them.
Pretty much the same.
What are you going to use when you have a slope and an intercept? Slope-intercept form. But it needs to be which intercept?
The Y.
The y-intercept. Y equals 5x plus 4. Done. Convert it. How do I make it standard form?
You put everything to one side.
Letters to one side, numbers to the other for standard. 5x minus y equals negative 4. Is that the same as negative 4 equals 5x minus y? Yes. General form, put everything on one side. 5x minus y plus 4 equals 0. Everybody good? Those are the easy ones. Now we're going to do something. Yes, Lauren.
Why is the Y negative? Because you got moved over.
Because it's got to move over.
Sorry, why is the Y negative?
Because it's got to.
Move over. Isn't it staying in the same place anyway? For a standard form.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That should have stayed. Thank you. The 4 didn't move. Oh, yeah, it did. Yes. The 4 moved. Every time something moves, it's got to change sign. Because you need in standard form to have ax plus by equals c. So if I move this y over here, I got to move the 4 over there.
Alternatively, you can just move
then the 5 would be negative 5, which wouldn't be allowed. He's got to be positive.
Oh, no wonder. Okay, I was always so confused about that. Why does that be positive?
Because he does.
The access is positive.
Yes.
Okay. Alright.
Now, what do I have here? A point and a slope. Point slope form is y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. The y1 and the x1 are known points. Do you have a known point?
X and Y.
Which one of those is the y value?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. So it's y minus minus 2, which is what?
Y plus 2.
Y plus 2 equals m 2/3 x minus 6. Done. Rewrite that on your next page so you don't have to keep turning back and forth, and convert them. Now, here is where you bring your own math skills to the party.
Sorry, can I see another two? Oh wait, is that a 3 under the 2?
Yes.
Very special 3.
So that is y minus minus 2, which is y plus 2, equals 2/3 x minus 6. X goes there, y goes there. Now, there is no right order to do this in, but you are going to do algebra on that. It doesn't matter what order you approach it. Okay? I personally do not like distributing fractions, ever. So I get general or standard form first. Always. That's what I do. I do not care. Anyone?
Oh, Care Bears.
Care Bears, thank you. Care how you do it. But I always get standard or general first. Because I don't like distributing that decimal or that fraction. Which means I'm going to multiply this side by 3 and this side by 3 to get 3y plus 6 equals 2x minus 6. 3y plus 6 equals 2x minus 12. X is positive and a whole number, so he's not moving. Everything else is. 2x minus 3y equals 18. General form, 2x minus 3y minus 18 equals 0. Slope-intercept form, y is by itself. 3y equals 2x minus 18. Y equals 2/3 x minus 6. Now you need to be aware that all three of those are the same thing. Okay? This is that equation at the beach in flip-flops and a towel. This is that equation at its job in his going-to-work clothes. This is that equation when he's the best man at a wedding in a tuxedo. Everybody got it? But they're all the same dude. Everybody cool? Questions? Sweet! What's wrong with 5? You don't have a slope. Or do you have a slope?
Yeah, you do.
How do you have a slope?
Y minus y1.
Or you could draw it, which is negative 1 over 3. No, negative 1 over negative 3, which is 1/3. Now, is that a point? So can you use point slope form?
Yeah.
Excellent. Is that a point?
Yeah.
So you could use point slope form. Yeah. Would you get the same looking equation?
Yeah.
No.
No.
But would they be the same equation?
Well, if I same looking, it would like be the same forms.
It would be the same.
They have
they would have different starting points. Lauren, what were you going to ask? Okay. So, the green guy would be what? Y minus 5 equals x minus 1. The red guy would be what?
Y minus 4, 1/3, x plus.
Okay? Now, since this line goes between, both of those are the same thing, that must mean that that x and y from the red line should work in the green line, shouldn't it? Let's check. What's 4 minus 5? Negative 1, yes? What's negative 2 minus 1? And what's negative 3 times 1/3? Negative 1. Does negative 1 equal negative 1? Yes, so you can see that even though they have different points, they're the same equation. What doesn't change? The x and the y that we sub in always follows the same rules. If there's an x and a y in the equation, and you have an x and a y, no matter what form you have, you can put it into the equation. Can I make it any simpler for you? No, I hope not. What's weird about number 6 that you are all going to read it for 1 second and immediately start working and then notice halfway through that you're doing it wrong? It's an x-intercept. So can you do y equals mx plus b? No. That x-intercept, though, is a point, isn't it? What is the point there? 2, 0. Now you have, here's where it gets even crazier. Can you do that form with that point? Yes or no? Yes. Why? Because you have an x and a y, and you have an x and a y. The only problem with that is you're going to have to solve for b, aren't you?
Yeah.
So if you want to do this, you have y equals 5/3 x plus b. What can I put in there?
0 is 5.
The 0 equals 5/3 times 2 plus b, correct?
Yeah.
So 0 equals 10/3 plus b. So what does b equal? Negative 10/3. So you could have y equals 5/3 x minus 10/3. Barf. Is there an easier way to write it?
3 1/3.
You could write 3 1/3. But is there an easier way to do the equation without doing all the algebra?
Probably, if you're asking.
Well, isn't there a slope and a point?
Oh, slope point.
So can't I do point slope form?
Point slope.
Y minus what?
0.
0. So y equals m
5/3.
5/3 bracket.
X minus 2.
Is that allowed to for you to hand that in to
Oh
me?
my god, jeez Louise.
Can you hand that in to me?
Yeah.
Of course you could.
Oh yeah.
That's point slope form of that.
All you want is the equation.
All I want is the equation. I didn't say what form I wanted. Could you have multiplied this by 3 and given it to me in general form?
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Wait, why is that x minus 2?
Because that's the x value, and in point slope form, it's x minus x1. What's weird about number 7? Parallel to. Does that give me a hint? Parallel means what? Same slope. So what do I need to know what's parallel? I need to know the slope. Can I find the slope with that?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a pain,
Yeah, you can do it though.
but how?
By conversion.
Converting to what?
MXB.
Y equals mx plus b. Do I care about b?
Not really.
No, because I only need the m, don't I? So I need y to be by itself. So 4y equals negative 2x, yes? What does y equal?
Wait, I thought you can't have a
Yeah, you
negative.
can-
Oh, yeah, yeah. Wait.
Oh wait, y equals.
Oh, okay, never mind.
What does y equal?
Wait, what?
Yes, you kick the 7 out of the house because you only need slope.
Negative 1 half.
I thought you could have a negative. Oh, that's only for.
Oh, you got divided by 4.
Now, that's my slope that I have. Since I want parallel, do I keep it?
No, yeah.
Yeah. So now I have a slope and a point. So what's the form?
Slope, point, slope. not
Which would
slope,
be?
point. Y minus 1 equals 1/2 or negative 1. 1/2 x minus or plus 3.
Done. Nice job, Sarah. What's different about 8?
It's perpendicular, so that means it's negative.
Perpendicular, which means you're doing the exact same thing, except you don't want the slope you find. You want its negative reciprocal. So 8y equaled negative x. So y equaled negative 1/8 x. So what's the slope I want?
8y is equal to
X.
negative x plus 5. Right?
Huh? It's 8 x.
What happened to 5?
You don't need the 5 because you only care about the slope. You're only finding the slope.
Now you need slope.
And it wouldn't affect the
But
slope.
it doesn't
Y
just
plus 2
disappear.
is equal
Yes, it does.
to 8 times x.
Because you only need the slope. Doesn't matter what the y-intercept is.
Oh.
Now I have the slope that I am working with, yes?
Yeah.
What do I have right there?
2 points. So point slope.
So,
Y plus 2 is equal to 8 times x minus 3.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
is everybody good?
Hold on.
So,
Why am I able to go this fast?
because this is exactly the same thing we done last time.
No. Why,
Hit y.
for you guys, is this okay? Have we learned anything new?
No.
No. It's all stuff you already know. But it allows you to skip a bunch of garbage so you can take this and have it, instead of being the end of your work, it can be the first step in doing more important work. That is the point of math. Same thing with factoring.
How did you see what you did?
Which in 8,
Yes.
were you confused with 7?
A little bit, yes.
Which part?
The getting the slope part.
So I have a line right there in general standard form, yes? Standard form does not tell me the slope. Slope intercept tells me the slope, right? So if I can take this and put it in slope intercept form, will I not get the slope?
Yes.
And slope intercept form is when y is isolated, correct? So I move the 2 over to get negative 2x.
Okay.
Y still has a 4. Then I need y isolated, so I divided both sides by 4. I don't need to worry about the 7 because that 7 has nothing to do with the line that I am talking about. I only needed to know the slope because the line I want is parallel to that. So once I have the slope, I can come over here. There's my slope, and then I put in the point that I know. Okay? Now down here, it was perpendicular. So once I found the slope I had by isolating y again, I knew that since it was perpendicular, I had to flip it and change the sign. And then I have a slope for point slope form and the known points for point slope form. I cannot stress this enough, ladies and gentlemen. You need to know in science, both physics, chemistry, and biology, and all forms of math, you need to be able to find the slope in every possible way you can bring your imagination to. You must be able to do it. Counting on a graph is kindergarten of finding slope. Okay? You have to have all of these tools in your mathematical toolbox.
Could we run through 8 one more time, please?
I need an equation of a line. What do you know about that line?
It's a straight line, and it's
It goes through what point?
3, -2.
It goes through that.
Yep.
So you know that since you have a point, you're going to be using that.
Yep.
You know that those are the known points.
Yep.
You still don't have an M.
No.
Find your M. You know that M is the slope that is perpendicular to this slope. Find that slope. Whenever y is isolated, you have the slope because the coefficient of x is your slope, always. So isolate y. Okay? If you are not going to listen to anything I say about finding slope, listen to that. Isolated y gets you the slope.
It's a coefficient of x.
Yes, because y equals mx plus b. Whenever y is isolated, whatever the coefficient of x is your slope.
I see why the slope doesn't matter now. It's because it doesn't.
You see why the y-intercept
Or the
doesn't matter.
Yeah, rather.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spectacular.
Oh boy, that's a lot. Catching up to it.
No, it's not. A. What form are you going to use for A? Can you use slope-intercept?
Yes.
I wouldn't. Why? Rose, why would you not use slope-intercept?
Because you can't see where it lands on the X.
Oh, yo, never mind.
The y-intercept. You don't have an exact value, so you're going to use point slope. I would use that point, and I would use that point. Your slope is 1/4, right? And now you have two known points to put into point slope form. You decide. What is one of them? That guy is -2, 3. That guy is 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. The point I'm trying to make is, does it matter which you use? No, because they're both going to be right. One of them is y minus 3 equals 1/4 x plus 2. And the other one no, you have to use a known point. I'm not sure what you're asking me, Sam.
Like not like a random point, but like a point on the line.
Yes.
Any point on the line.
Yes.
Anyone.
Because that line is made up of x's and y's. To make that line, every x and y on it must be an x and a y that will work for it. How are you going to do B? Can you do the same thing?
Yeah.
Of course you would do the same thing. What are the points you could use?
Right, that one, and then keep going that one.
4, -4, and -1.
So the slope is
4 over, -4 over.
Well, I'll put in
1, 2, 3 over 2.
Is it?
Yep.
Where am I? Oh, look at the wrong one.
Y
3 over 2.
plus 1, 3 halves, x minus 4,
X plus 4.
plus 4, or
Somewhere else.
y plus 4, 3 halves, x plus 2. What about C? For some reasons, kids do not understand C and D, and I don't know why.
Well, D. 0.
What do you know about C?
Can't be.
Pardon? It's got an undefined slope, yes? So there can't possibly be y equals mx plus b, can there? There cannot be a y value in that, can there? So if the y value doesn't matter, what's the only value that does matter?
Yeah.
x. And what is the x value for 3? For C, thank you, not 3. 5. X has to be 5. What if I drew that line all the way back to Madeline back there? What would the x value be? 5. What if I drew the line all the way down to the rotunda? What would the x value be? 5. Because the y value doesn't matter. Knowing what you know now, what is then D? Y equals 9. Look at you guys. And finally, what is our good friend E? What form can you use?
The one you've been doing for everything but C.
Do slope intercept because
Why can you do slope intercept, Leighton? Because you can see that it is an exact value of negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a slope of, looks to me like 1/3.
Parallel to the
Everybody good? Sweet! And finally, what do you see there? What do you see there? What do you see there? K. Every one of these A through G gives you what? A through F gives you what? An X and a Y value. Then what are you going to do to find K? Starts with an A, ends with an A, has algebra in the middle of it.
Algebra.
Right. The reason the mermaid was embarrassed in math class.
Algebra.
Her algebra was showing. Pardon me?
What?
She thinks it's not that funny. And if you were in my class last year, it wouldn't have been that funny. Because I used that joke last year numerous times. But if you weren't in my class last year, you should all be rolling around on the floor, because that's good comedy. All right. So you guys are smart kids. X-intercept is 3. So what is that as an X as an ordered pair?
3-0.
3-0. What is that as an ordered pair?
Negative 2-0.
Negative 2-0. What is that as an ordered pair?
0-3.
What is that as an ordered pair?
0-7.
What is that as an ordered pair?
2 negative 1.
What's that?
Negative 4, negative 4, 3.
What does every one of these highlighted numbers do up here? Sub in for X. What does every one of the green highlighted numbers do? They go for Y. Once you know X and Y, K is simply 3X plus 2Y equals K, because once you move that over, so in your head, it should take approximately 18 seconds to fill this page in. Go. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14.
Okay. Oh, wait.
Come on.
Oh, it's arranged differently. Go to the road. Go to the road.
3, 2, 1, 0. Anybody done?
First one's 9. Second one,
9, negative 2.
What?
that's different. You gotta do more math. Can we just do all the X-intercept ones? Those are the easier.
Ah,
Negative 6.
okay. Alright.
Negative 6. 14. 6 minus 2. 4. Negative 12. Minus. Plus 6. Negative 6.
Wait. Could you go back up for a second?
No, stop.
Thank you. All good.
Do you know what the X and the Y is? So you put that instead of X.
So what I had for all of this schmozzle was 3x plus 2y equaled k. And the lesson you are taking home from this entire last 2 units, and you will take it to the rest of your math, the rest of your chemistry, the rest of your physics, the rest of your biology. Every single time you have data, you have IV, dV, which is X and Y, which can always go back into every form of the equation with which you are working. Does everybody understand? Going once. Glowing twice, apparently. Obviously lives near a nuclear reactor. Everybody good? Sweet. The next thing in your book is an assignment that has Paul's South Pacific font. No!
We don't get that font.
You guys have fontdiner.com, sparkly.
Font Diner Swankly? No, it's different.
Sparkly.
Swankly? Swankly.
That is due when?
Tomorrow.
We will be marking it.
Thursday.
We will be marking it Wednesday, whether you are here or not. If you are not here and you wish credit for it, you will have to watch the video. Okay? What is tomorrow?
Tuesday.
Test. What else is happening Wednesday?
Bio games.
The buyout game that a bunch of you will be missing. Will I be stopping?
No.
No, there will be a lesson on Wednesday as well. That lesson on Wednesday is nothing new math skill wise. But it's going to teach you a couple of new words and a way to apply your knowledge.
Oh my head.
Thursday and Friday will be, if all goes perfectly, Thursday will be the rest of your last unit, because once again, the last unit is an applications unit. There is no skills that are new. So in a perfect world, Wednesday and Thursday we'll finish your last unit, and we will have a small, I will have to call it a test, but it will really not be as big as anything you have had and called a test, on systems. Which means Thursday of next week will be a day when you can come in with all 7 units, say, Mr. Myers, I still can't do trig, or whatever. Got it? There will be a day next week that I will assign as an X block for anybody to do a cumulative on units, everything to do with graphing, if you wish. That will cover Unit 5, which is real-life graphing, Unit 6, which is algebraic graphing, and Unit 7, which is a mix of real-life applications of algebraic and graphing equations.
Wait, was Unit 5 3 continuous?
Yep. Okay. And you have 26 minutes with which you could finish the unit assignment if you want. Or I could offer you this. We could start systems, because the first bit of systems is this, and get it out of the way now.
Okay. Let's do that.
Also, might I add that the first bit of systems is using graphing to solve systems, and you're about to write a test on graphing. So you would actually get even more review for graphing if you wish. I see a few nods, a few I don't cares, and a few questions about what we just did. What do you want?
I'm down for more.
I'm not the spokesperson.
Lord?
Are you not?
No, you asked something there. Before I said, war we could. You were asking something.
Or we could.
What is the class consensus?
It will not come to a consensus, just like you could not decide on how to order pizza.
What do you
With
mean?
the phone. Duh.
We're online.
Online. I don't want to socialize with people.
And as usual, nobody has told me.
All in favor to continue on with learning, say aye. All opposed, same side. Same side.
All right.
Same.
Go to whatever page looks like that. I don't know what number it is. Great. Okay. The only thing that you don't know on that in that first box is this definition. Once you have that definition, you should be able to fill in the rest of the box by yourself. Let's see. So, a system of equations is a group of at least two equations which may or may not share a solution. Now that should be enough to fill in the rest, because you already know what a linear equation is, don't you? What is it? Excuse me. Yes, it is this. What does that mean?
Keeps going with a slope, constant slope.
Absolutely right. A linear equation is I don't know what happened to the n, an equation which predictably changes as IV changes, dV changes, on and 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 on. In algebra, what are IV and dV? X and Y. In real life, what are they? Independent variable and dependent variable. So if you're in biology class, you're probably not using X and Y, right? So, now you know what a system is, now you know what a linear equation is. What, therefore, must a linear system be?
A bunch of both linear equations.
A bunch of linear equations that
May or may not shape a solution.
may or may not share a solution.
Share.
Well, at least you participated in class. This is preparing for Walmart Canada Corporation. What?
So, if they may or may not share a solution, then I must need to know how to solve it. What is the solution of a linear equation? Well, first you need a linear equation. X plus y equals 5. What is one possible solution to that equation? 2 plus 3 equals 5.
0 plus 5.
0 plus 5.
4 plus 1.
And how many of them are there, Lauren?
6. No, there's more because you can go to negative section.
So guess again. How many are there?
12.
Infinite.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no.
Everybody understand?
2000
Everybody cool?
minus 2000.
The only rule is that the x and the y have to add up to 5. And as long as x and y add to 5, that is a solution to that equation, yes? Is that a system right now? No, because there's only one of them. Everybody cool?
Yeah.
All right. Now, what if I gave you this? Wait.
Where's the window?
Is that a system now? Yes. What are some possible solutions for that?
6.
2, 7. 1, 6. Agreed? What's another one? When x is 0, what's y?
That's 1, 7.
When x is 0, y is 5, correct? So that's a solution there, isn't it? What do you notice there and there? That one point is a solution in both equations, yes?
Yep.
So that would be the solution to the system.
So it's not necessarily like
You
if
gotta
they
find
share
a
a solution at a
shared
specific point.
Hmm?
If they share a solution at a specific
Yep. To solve a linear system means to find the point, which is x and y, which satisfies which equations? At least both. All the system.
If there's an infinite amount of variables for each, how would you go about?
I'm about to show you. Did I ever leave you in the dark, Byron?
I think it's kind of like a leeway at this point.
All right. There's 3 ways to do this. One of which is graphing. We're doing that today because it's going to help you review for tomorrow. It's not the best way. Why? Because you have to draw a graph, and graphs are not exact, are they? No. So here we go. Right there. Woo! Whoa. Slow up there, big shooter. Right there, you see what to do. Step 1, convert. So you're going to get some practice on that. M is the slope. B is the y-intercept. Let's convert them. I'm going to have a red one. I'm going to have a blue one. How should I convert the red one to be in slope-intercept form?
Isolate the y.
Isolate the y. So what would it be, Sarah?
Y equals 4 minus x.
4 minus x, which is fine. But a lot of people have trouble with that because it's not in the order. So it would be negative x plus 4. Everybody cool?
Yeah.
I know it's the same and you know it's the same.
Yeah, okay.
But some people won't like it because it's not in mx plus b. Everybody cool?
Yes.
Great. What are you going to do with the blue one?
You're going to do the same thing.
Same thing.
2y equals x plus 2. What does y equal? 1 half x
Plus 1.
plus 1. Now, let's graph it, shall we? You guys should have graph paper on your page.
Yeah.
Put in a scale or an axis, and let's graph. The red line would go where?
Up
1, 2, 3, 4. And it's got a slope of negative 1, yes? So every corner going down this way. Everyone agree?
I think I see what we're going to do here.
And I draw that line. Now, what do we know about every single x and y on that line, even if it's in the middle?
It's there. Oh, we know that?
What do we know about every single coordinate on that red line?
It follows the thing.
It follows that, no matter what. Even way down here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, negative 4. Right? 8 plus negative 4 would be 4. Everybody cool? All right. Now do the blue one. Where do we go for the blue guy?
Up 1.
Up 1 and then?
A slope of a half.
So up 1 over 2. Oh my good gravy. What happens right there?
The solution.
That point is on 2 lines, which means that x and y must satisfy 2 equations. What is its value? 2, 2. Now, should any of you say to me ever, Mr. Myers, did I do this right? No, you shouldn't. Why? Because that's an x, and that's an x, and that's an x, and that's a y, and that's a y, and that's a y. Is 2 plus 2 4?
2 plus 2 is 4.
Is negative 2? Is negative 2 plus 4 positive 2?
Yes.
So it's right. Now you guys go ahead and do that same thing on number 2. Go. When you think you have it, pat your tummy and rub your nose. Rub your head.
There's no like access on this graph.
I know there's no axis on this graph. You have to put it there. Because what if you need to change it?
No, I ruined pen, so it
Well,
sucks.
don't know what to tell you.
I just don't make mistakes. It's not true.
Nope, can't draw straight lines.
Nobody is patting their tummy and rubbing their heads.
Almost. Hold up.
Hop up and down and cluck like a chicken.
Okay, honest question.
Act like a rock.
Like this is a genuine question I've had for years. Do teachers get intimidated when another teacher comes and closes their door?
I couldn't care less. He is doing one of two things. Either I am being too loud and he is trying to teach next door, or he is trying to have a private conversation in the hall with somebody else. Why would I?
Teachers always get like
You do you.
aggressive when the
Have we met?
I think I got it.
It's Mr. Myers though.
Myers, but others.
Have we met?
You're not?
Yes.
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 Not a good question.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Okay.
All right.
Ah, I made a mistake.
Oh yes.
I started the wrong point. Wait, what? It's not. Okay. What did you get? Oh, man.
I got 1 point.
Wait.
So
No, it's -3 too.
No, it's not.
Wait, no, it's not. I lied.
Okay, so I got that one right, but this one I got my signs messed up.
Again, guys, listen please. Is it the concept
Man.
or is it the algebra? It's the algebra. The concept is pretty simple. Wherever the lines cross, they share an x and a y. That's the concept. Right? No matter where they cross, that x and y is the solution. That's the only new thing you learned today. Everything else is algebra. I see it too, Harmon. It's grody.
Oh boy, I knew.
Everybody cool? Now, please notice number 3. If you were in my class in the 9th grade, you know what that symbol means. If you were not in my class in the 9th grade, you may not know what that symbol means. I'm going to give you a very quick lesson. Don't write this down. There is 0. That symbol is absolute value. Absolute means end of discussion. This is what it's worth. Okay? It is simply the distance from 0. So, this point right here is 3. How far is it from 0? 3. So the absolute value of 3 equals 3. This point is -3. How far is it from 0? 3. So the absolute value of -3 is also 3.
What about when you get on the y-axis? Can you do that?
It would be the same thing, except your number line is up and down.
Oh, it's x. Never mind. So
But it would be the same thing.
yeah, okay.
Okay, the number line just goes up and down on y. Cool? So the reason I'm doing this is because I need to show you guys something. Because we've only worked with single straight lines, yes? So, How are we going to graph that? Well, since you've never seen it, you're not quite sure what to do, let's go to the one that we know always works, table of values, yes? Who chooses the x values? Why? No. The x value is starts with an I.
Independent variable.
Close, ends with a T.
Independent.
Oh, damn it. Has input in the middle of it.
Input.
There you go.
Oh.
How many values should you choose?
2.
I always say 3, right? So give me 3 values.
0, 2, 4.
1, 2,
0, 2, 4. Well, that's not very fair to half the numbers in the universe.
0, 2, 6.
Still not fair to half the numbers in the universe. Still not fair to half the numbers in the universe. Thank you.
What did he say?
Negative 2. When x is 0, how far is 0 from 0? 0. When x is 2, what is the absolute value of 2? How far is 2 from 0? 2. Excellent. When x is negative 2, what's the absolute value of negative 2? 2. Now graph it.
Oh, I see now.
Oh my. I don't know
Oops.
how you draw your own x-axis.
Oh, Crimea River.
Cry me a river, build me a boat.
0, 0.
Really bad.
At positive 2, what's my y value?
2.
Positive 2. At negative 2, what's my y value? Positive 2. So the line goes like this.
My word.
Oh, it's a
Now you guys are smart kids.
Parabola. No, I said a parabola.
That's already ready to graph, yeah? How do I do it?
Up 3, and then you do the slope matching.
Down 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. And what do you see happens?
There's 2 of them.
There's 2 solutions.
Oh my goodness. So they're even better to
Why?
bamboozled again.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not sure why we have 3 lines.
You don't have 3 lines. You have 1 line. The red line is this.
Oh, it's 1 line.
Of course it is. Because no matter what the x value is, the y value is the same, but it's always positive.
That's interesting.
Now, why did I show you that? So we can talk about this.
Let's talk about that.
Don't write this down. You're going to use your brain. This is what is called synthesis.
Using our words.
You have been given some new stuff. Now you're going to synthesize information from what you know.
How about we take photos?
You are making stuff up.
Photosynthesis.
All right. Here we go. How many solutions does that have? The red and the blue that I just drew.
1.
Why do you know it is 1?
It only crosses at 1 point.
Because it only crosses at 1 point.
They're going in the
Great.
linear.
What about this?
Oh, wait, what should be a squiggly line? Oh, never mind. It's shaking things up. There's 2.
Why is there 2?
Because it crosses twice.
It crosses twice. Excellent. What if I had this?
Oh boy, things are about to get crazy. Things are about to get too lit.
Oh
This is why you're not my date card. 2.
Really?
1, 2, yeah.
Okay.
Well, what's that little thing?
Oh, this is nothing.
Okay, I was like, it sounds like you're about to...
Just wait, just wait. What is this?
The parabola.
Why? I really hope... That's 2.
Mr. Myers, please go to
Yep. Is it 2?
It's 2 just closer together. And harder to see. Wait, did they go to the same point at the bottom? No, it doesn't.
What's happening to the curve? It's branching this way.
Yeah.
What's happening to this? This one is spreading out,
Is that one supposed to
and
be
this one's staying in a straight line. What's eventually going to happen? They're going to touch again, aren't they? So what's going to happen somewhere up over here?
Another one.
There'll be a third.
But we can't see that.
No, you can't. But that's why I'm asking you to synthesize.
Synthesize.
What if it was this?
Then there's only two. Unless they like do this weird thing outside the graph, but we're gonna assume that.
How many solutions? Okay, what if it was this?
Let's just draw some Venn diagram. 4.
4. What's the concept?
Every time the line crosses.
Every time a graphed line crosses another graphed line, you have a solution to that system. Everybody got it? Now, wait for it. How many solutions are there to this system? Just wait, it's frozen. That's a new one. And
Oh my gosh, what does it look like? That reminds me of something else. I don't know.
There's 6.
Oh.
Wait, no.
One.
Because none of them all go together to 1 point. There's no point where all 3 cross. Oh, never mind, we're good. So there's solutions if there's only 2 of them. Like, choose.
it's a system. So it has to, the definition of a system says the solution must be
All of them.
all of them. So is there any solutions to that? No. What if I do this? Oh, crap.
No. They're still not. They're all not touching at the same point. If you get rid of the blue line,
Yes.
oh,
Now?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's
Is-
1 or 2 depending on how you're trying to draw.
There's 2. That one and that one.
Okay, those are
Everybody cool? All right. So you have now, you have that assignment to work on. And what's the next thing in your guys' book?
Solve
409 and then solve.
It's a page of textbook work, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do not do 8 and 9. We will be discussing them. Do 3, 4, 6, and 7
on the page for the other one.
on page
260.
262, apparently. And guys, the last day of systems, or the last 2 days of systems, one is the way that is exact all the time and is all algebra, and the other one is applying it to real life.